happening soon in the song, and I request your participation. Now is the time. Boy, watching his band. Thank you guys so much for being here. So much. So great. Guys, people are marching back in from all over the place. But let me tell you, I walked all the way around the White House, and it was 3 deep almost the whole way around. We thought, when we first started planning this, I tell you the truth, we were like, well, if we got everybody really stretches their arms like this, we might just be able to make it. Our problem was traffic jams of people running into each other. Unbelievable. I have been told, someone just told me, who's sort of an old activist in this town, that no one's even tried to do this since the 1960s. It's an amazing sight. Completely amazing sight. And you know what? There's all kinds of people here who have some real experience with being out around the White House. I see looking out there my friend Lieutenant Dan Choi, who was arrested the first day of our protest. Now look, Dan Choi and his crew were able to persuade the president about don't ask, don't tell, and that's one of the reasons that we're here. Let me read you a note. That I just got an email from another friend of ours who has some experience at the White House. And that's one of my old friends and another great hero, Van Jones, okay? Now, Van used to work over there until the right wing got all over him and Fox News demanded he get fired and things, and they got rid of him, but he has not gone away. He is leading a powerful resurgence around this country. And here's the note he said. In solidarity from Van Jones, I wish I could be there helping you to surround my old workplace. Only unavoidable family obligations are keeping me away. I would be there with you under any other circumstances, and my spirit absolutely is. We have a duty to support the president when he is right. For instance, fighting for the jobs bill. And we have an equal duty to oppose him when he is wrong, and if he is even considering approving his monstrous planet-killing proposal. President Obama is flat out, absolutely, and 100% wrong. Let the message be clear. We, the people, cannot accept this. If the White House lets the proposal go forward, there should be nonviolent civil disobedience and mass arrests along every mile, foot, and inch of the construction route until it is impossible to complete. August was the beginning of the people's veto of this whole proposal. We will never give up until the very idea of Keystone XL is dead and buried. But it should never come to that. I call upon President Obama to stand with the people who stood with him and to stand for future generations. Reject Keystone XL. All people of conscience reject it. I stand with them loud and proud. So should President Obama. Green jobs for all, Van Jones. That's the kind of message that people are going to be bringing from every corner of the country. Now, I know, and I'll say this a couple more times in the next 20 minutes, that when we go home, one of the best things about having been here is we got to know each other and to network and to figure out how we're going to do a lot more stuff once we get back wherever we come from. We've got 3 or 4 weeks. Now, all the people, one of the reasons that this was so successful today is that the 1,253 people who got arrested here in August all went home and went to work. And they talked to their Rotary clubs and their church groups, and they wrote letters to the editor, and they started going to Obama offices, and they gave slide talks at the library. They did all the things that we need you all to do now. By virtue of being here, you're now leaders in this fight, and we got to get you out in every corner of the country doing that leading, okay? And if you do that, we will win. No question about it. I want to introduce someone now to you who's been at the heart of this fight from the very beginning. You know, fighting every bit as hard as we have and just making amazing progress. This wasn't a big issue in a way in Canada 6 months ago either, and now paying serious attention to what you all are doing. And one of the big reasons for that is Maud Barlow, who runs the Council of Canadians, and she is a great lady and a great fighter, and here she is. Somebody's left an insulin pack out there. If you come to the stage, we'll get it for you.
Well, hello, you awesome water warriors. It is such a marvelous thing to be here. I am so glad I came, and I have to tell you, there are a lot of Canadians here, and millions of Canadians who wish they were here and here in their hearts. I promise you that. And I call you water warriors because there are many reasons to fight Keystone, but there is none more important than the water crisis and the destruction that the tar sands oil is doing to water. In northern Alberta, they're holding the poisoned water, massive amounts of it, in great big holding tail ponds that are so poisoned that when birds land on them, they die or they have to be put to death by the many thousands. This poison is in our groundwater, it's in the fish, it's in the wildlife, and it's affecting terribly the people downstream in the tar sands. Now they're preparing to take that dirty oil, the dirtiest oil on earth, and take it over the Ogallala Aquifer, which is the water that produces most of the food for the United States, which is already a deeply distressed aquifer. You want to talk about jobs? Stop and think what would happen if there's a major spill, and I promise you there will be, in the Ogallala Aquifer, and what will happen to the jobs and lives and livelihoods of thousands, maybe millions of Americans who depend on that area for food production and their whole economy. And then they're going to take it to Texas, where they don't have any water. Do you know how much water it takes to refine this dirty oil? 3 to 5 barrels of water for every unit of oil that you get out of it. That means that Texas is going to be taking water it doesn't have and poisoning it. This is, you want to know, our Prime Minister Harper calls this a no-brainer decision. Well, this is a no-brainer decision for sure. The answer has to be no. And may I remind us that we are a planet running out of clean water. There's a new study that says by 2030, fully 40%, or the demand for water, will outstrip supply by 40%. That denotes a horrible amount of suffering around the world. Everywhere that we have water, we have to take care of it because we don't have enough if we don't take care of it. This is the most precious thing we have, and every decision that we make must be made around its protection. You need to know, however, that Keystone's not the only pipeline. You've heard about the others in Canada, but you might not know that there's one called the Alberta Clipper, and it's already taking tar sands, bitumen, crude oil from the tar sands to 17 refineries on the U.S. side of the Great Lakes. This is going to put the Great Lakes in serious danger. The Great Lakes are already endangered, and this is about the worst thing that we could be doing. And then there's Trailbreaker, which is a proposed pipeline to take Alberta bitumen, tar sands bitumen, down to New England. And we're already starting work with people in New England to stop that pipeline.
Michael? So is that good to go?
What we need to understand about this is that the big energy industry in North America is driving energy policy, and the way they're doing it is that they're putting trillions of dollars into these pipelines, and then you have to feed the beast by exposing and increasing the production of tar sands in Alberta. So I call it Canada's Mordor. This is not the way you should be developing energy policy in our world. It should be people, it should be, yes, it should be people, it should be all of us together. So I just want to end by saying that Canada stands with you. You are absolutely not alone. We're going to have to build a movement not just for this pipeline, but for the Alberta Clipper and the Trailbreaker. We will win this. I believe that President Obama is going to do the right thing. We'll say no to the pipeline, but we then need to say yes to a sustainable, just energy future. Thank you.
So, from one Canadian to another, but our next speaker comes from an older nation than Canada. He's the former chief of the Haisla First Nation in British Columbia. He's been a huge fighter all along, and his name is Gerald Amos.
Hey, Mas, who's the deal? Wakas. That is a traditional opening in a feast hall that I come from. And it simply says, chiefs, ladies, all of you gathered. It is simply not good enough for me to come into your house, eat your food, enjoy your hospitality, and leave without saying thank you. I come from a small First Nations community of 600 people. I live 6 kilometers from what's proposed to be the terminus, a tank farm for the Enbridge pipeline.
What is this for?
It's for NC State student
You don't
newspaper.
have the numbers that you have.
Okay, do you have
Tim
press
Craig
pass?
from the Washington
No,
Post.
no.
Say hello to the world.
My name is Mark Smith.
He said hello. He's been covering Occupy DC from the beginning, and now he's out here getting a video himself of the act.
As Bill said, I've been involved for many years on issues similar to this one, but I am convinced that my culture, or the remnants of it, will not survive an oil spill, either in the river or in the ocean.
This is a stark contrast to what happened on Friday night, when at times it was very, very tense between protesters and attendees from Americans for Prosperity.
Narrators, please update us more often. Many in the chat want to know the same things. Main question.